Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Fandom, the podcast that brings a special guest out of the multiverse and straight to you. Today's episode is brought to you by In the Reads. In the Reads provides beautiful, affordable artwork of the vibrant worlds found within your favorite books, TV, and films. From all wood bookmarks featuring illustrations and quotes from such fandoms as Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Outlanders, and more, to fantasy and real-life maps drawn in the style of Tolkien. Go to inthereads.com and check out what is available. Like something? Use code TALES10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. A link will be in the show notes along with the code. And now, let's get to the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Tales from the Fandom. It continues to be the month of October, and I am so excited to finally get the chance to have this person join me today on the podcast. We have been following each other for quite some time, and it is now time. They are here. You might know them as Lillac.Cos on Instagram. She goes by Cam, but whatever. Cam, Lilac, whatever. Cam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I am so excited that we're finally sitting down. It's been a road, a journey to get here. There's even a time where I think you went overseas, and I was like, okay, whenever you get back, we'll do it. And then, things continue to evolve and change, but here you are.
We're finally here. We did it.
We did it. And you are actually down here in the heart of the Tales from the Fandom land. I always, consider Orlando like the intersection of like a bajillion fandoms, thanks to Disney and Universal, and there's just so much stuff going on here. And you're here now, and we're recording in the heat. It is hot here.
It's so hot here.
So hot. But one of the things that you're into that's also hot, and also, there's a lot of stuff going on, is that you're into anime, which is a huge, expansive, wide-ranging assortment of, like fandoms underneath the anime umbrella. But I have to ask, like, how did you first get into anime? Like, what was your first anime experience, and how did it hook you into it?
So, what started was I was in soccer. I was, I believe, an 8th grader, and my friends, they introduced me to these parody episodes of Code Geass, which was Code Mint, which was the parody thing. And I was like, okay, this kind of looks really cool. So I looked up the actual title, and then I started watching Code Geass, and I was like, okay, this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I think I got really hooked by freshman year. I was in high school. I was pretty much your average weeb. My friend who got me into it, she was pumped, and I was like, what are some great anime recommendations? Like, what can I watch? Because Code Geass was apparently not enough. And I think the second anime I watched was a total flip around, because Code Geass is like mech anime, so you got robots and guns and violence and psychological things that Lelouch would say. And then I switched it around to Vampire Knight.
Okay.
Which definitely was a flip. Loved the love triangle. And I think that was the first time I was introduced to like what anime like could potentially be besides the shonen.
Okay.
So there's a lot of it was more dramatic than Code Geass, I would say. Less action, more dramatic.
And from there, between like those two animes, you're like, okay, I can get this, or I can get that, or I can get this, and there's so much. It's almost like a buffet. Once you get hooked on anime, it's like there's so much out there to explore. Like it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
For anime, like what separated, I guess, like anime from the other things that you were into at the time, and like why did you get drawn into it?
I think it was because this is a good question. I don't know. I think it's because I needed to find something new, because I was really into reading books. I kind of just needed like an escape from reality. Nothing bad was going on in my life at the time, but I was like, this is really cool. The animation style kind of hooked me in. The characters, like how there's just a variety of like all these different types that you could potentially watch. I think that's what kind of hooked me in. Oh, also the theme songs. The anime openings are like top tier animation.
It is something, not only like the animation, like openings, but like that music sometimes, if they have that right music, it just hooks you. Or and for example, like Naruto, right? Because I'll go to
Hmm.
Naruto,
Yeah.
like how they change the ending songs and the ending animation like on a frequent basis. Like I would get hooked on the ending songs, and then I'd get upset when they change it. It's like, no, like I like that ending song. Why do I have to listen to this ending song?
Right when they like switched like every 12 episodes. Bleach is like the same way. So I would get hooked on the ending and the opening. So the opening would last like 12 episodes. And then it's like, all right, we're going to switch up the opening. And you're like, why? I was having a great time with this one.
Exactly. Like I knew all the words. I enjoyed like the hype that it gave me after the show ended. Like, oh yeah, we're in it now. And now it's like the sad romantic, like I don't know, like it just the vibes completely change, and it throws you off.
Like the ending songs. There's a
Yeah.
meme going around on TikTok right now where it's like the main character just watched all his friends murdered, and then there's like this bop of an ending song at the end.
That's exactly how it is. Like it's wild sometimes for the anime. You're into like some really good anime. I mean, there's lots of good anime out there. I'm not going to shun the anime people. I'm sorry if what we're going to be talking about is not the good anime that you're into, everyone that's listening. But the one of the ones that you told me about is a D Gray Man, correct?
Correct.
Now, what is D Gray Man, and how did you get into it?
Um, okay, so scrolling through Instagram one day, way back in 2014, I saw this picture with the three main characters, and one of the characters caught my eye. And God bless America, he is still in my heart forever and always. I was like, this looks interesting. So I watched the first two episodes of D Man, trying to get like the feel of it. Well, my guy wasn't there, so I actually ended up watching the 12th episode on just because the guy I wanted to see was in the 12th episode. D Man is about this kid named Alan Walker. He's an exorcist, and basically his job is to get rid of these demons that appear when there's this thing called innocence. And innocence can be transferred into power, which is why he can destroy. Like a normal human can't see the demons, but Alan can. And
Okay.
then all his friends have different, like, so there's different types of innocence that you can have to exercise the demons. So Alan's got a parasite type, so his arm transforms into a weapon. Then you have the equipment type, which is what the three other main characters have. And then there's a crystal type, which is later on in the series where the innocence is embedded into you. Not necessarily like a parasite type, but it's like the blood. Your blood is mixed with the innocence, which creates a crystallized version of your weapon.
Okay.
It actually gets confusing the more you read onto it. Um, there's a lot of factors that go into the show. I've been caught up with the anime since 2014, and the manga still continuing. It updates every 3 months, which is kind of hard to keep track of. It actually was on hiatus for like 10 years, I would say.
Oh my gosh.
So, which is why not a lot of people like know about it, because the artist couldn't keep up. She has a wrist injury,
Okay.
which causes her to it caused her that long time to not update. But like July 15th, I think, I remember getting a message that it was coming back, and like the whole fandom like lost their minds. And then they were said in 2016 that they were going to do a continuation of it Oh my gosh, that was like the best time of my life. When you're into a show where like not a lot of people know about it or like there's not a lot of hype to it, it's like this is the greatest news that could ever happen to you. I really enjoy the characters. I actually met one of the English dubs voice actors recently in April who actually voiced my favorite anime character. My favorite anime character is from D-Gray. His name is Lavi Bookman Jr. He's kind of obscure little comedic little man. I made an Instagram account for it. And I'm like one of the only people that updates everybody on D-Gray. Still, I've had that account for, I think we're going on 8 years now. I started it my sophomore year of high school, so we are pushing through.
That is incredible that you and that not only like are you hooked on it, but that you continue to, watch it and support it and read it and everything like through this time period, because some people would be like, you know what, it's not updating anymore, let me move on to something else, but you are persevering with it.
I'm trying to, like, my goal initially was to get everybody into it. It's like, hey, you should watch the show because I'm into it. You should watch it. And I understand if it's not for everybody. It's like a dark fantasy type-esque. So it's very written to the Christian core. It's very heavy on Christianity, kind of, in a sense, not like, but it's like God hates you kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
It also has a very slow start. And like half of the second season is all fillers.
Oh boy. Okay.
So that's really hard on people. But I have gotten a few people. I've been trying to get all my friends that cosplay to watch it so we can all cosplay together. Hasn't worked yet. Still working on it. I do this thing with Lobby when I'm at a convention where I do Wrong Fandom Adventures with Lobby, and I will be continuing to take pictures of other people in fandoms until I find the D-Gray fandom. It's obviously still going because no one from my state cosplays D-Gray. I remember this happened to my other roommate. Back in college, I walked into her room and saw the D-Gray manga on her shelf, and I was like, you watch D-Gray? And we just like talked about it for like an hour and 45 minutes straight.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was trying to like, it's very confusing in the recent chapters. I won't spoil anything because it's important. But like, there's so much. Who's who? Who is this? Why are they acting like this? When is this going to happen? Where is this? In the manga, my favorite anime character. Well, this also happens in the anime, but he does go missing. And I have this fan theory that he just went away to go get chicken nuggies. So he's outside getting chicken nuggets from somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I love the show. Okay, go on.
Now, as far as is Lavi's your favorite character, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Why are you drawn to Lavi?
I think in high school I felt like I had some similarities to him because he's a history nerd and he loves to make people laugh. Like he tries to bring light of his situation, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of like me. I also was like, we have the same blood type.
Oh my gosh.
You know how when you're into, like, you create a character and you're like, I'm going to take on that character's personality.
Yep.
I kind of did that in high school, Toxic Fly. I talked about this character nonstop. I don't know what made him so great. I was drawn to him. It was like love at first sight and haven't gone back. There's not like, it's like Lavi's on top, everybody else is on the bottom.
Now, out of curiosity, like let's say that I wanted to get into watching D-Gray. Where would I go to watch it?
So it's on Funimation, both D-Gray and D-Gray Hollow, which is a continuation of it. You need to obviously watch D-Gray first and then D-Gray Hollow, but I think Crunchyroll and Funimation, I think they're combining soon, so I think you can watch it on Crunchyroll soon. If not, I also think it's on Hulu.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. And I know that you said that you had met one of the English voice actors. Like, is the dub good?
Oh, the dub's one of my favorite dubs, actually, not being biased. It has Todd Haberkorn in it. It used to have Travis Willingham in it. J. Michael Tatum's in it. Jason Lee Brandt is actually Lavi's voice actor, and he also voices Dobby in My Hero Academia.
Okay.
So It was really funny when I was in line meeting him because everyone's like, Dobby. And like they made him say like all these voice lines like that Dobby would say. And I'm like, hey, I'm here for D Gray Man. Love the man. He recognized me right away. And then when we were taking a picture, he did like one of Lobby's catchphrases. I was like crying the entire time. It was a moment of my life. I had him sign one of the manga pages. It was the manga page where Lobby first appears on. I was like, this is perfect.
That is so wonderful. Like, sometimes they say like don't meet your heroes or whatever, but it's always nice to have like those kind of moments. Especially I think, it's weird. I don't want to say weird, but it's like with like voice actors or like comic book artists and the people that you see at cons, and sometimes I feel so like they're lonely, like there's no one visiting them because everyone's visiting like other people, other celebrities. But it's awesome that there are people that are like, I know you from like this thing, instead of like what everyone goes there for. It's like, yeah.
Right. I was so like nervous that like no one was gonna be there. And then I saw that he voiced Dobby and I was like, okay, everyone and their mother's probably gonna be in that line.
Oh my goodness. I'll have to check it out because I always like finding new anime. The only thing with anime sometimes is as long as I can watch it dubbed, because sometimes I can't focus and I'm like, okay, if I can listen to it, then I can glance back and forth and, catch stuff and keep going, instead of if I have to watch it subtitled, and then that's like paying attention.
If you do watch the German sub, the original voice actor for Alan is actually voiced by a girl, like many popular shonen animes. That kind of threw me through a loop because when I first watched it, the first 51 were in
Okay.
dub, and then they didn't continue the dubbing until when Hollow came out,
Okay.
and now all of D. Grayman is officially dubbed.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. I'll have to take a listen and look at it and see. I'll check Hulu tonight and see if it's on there. And if it's not, then maybe I'll have to figure out this Funimation Crunchyroll business, because who needs another streaming service? Apparently, I do.
Yes.
So on top of your love for D. Grayman, we're gonna switch from anime to, well, I guess they also have anime now because of some recent stuff that they did on Disney Plus. But
yes.
We're going to be talking about the huge long-term fandom that is Star Wars. And I think one of the favorite things that I love about getting to talk to people individually about Star Wars is everyone has a different entry point to watching Star Wars, whether it's like the originals, the prequels, the Clone Wars cartoon, Rebels, the sequel movies, books, comics. Where do you fall? Like, how did you get into Star Wars originally?
So over quarantine, I actually watched the originals with my family, but at the time I was like, all right, that was okay. And then later that year, in October 2020, I actually watched the Clone Wars episode, like the season, like the animated series.
Okay.
And I was like, this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with all the characters. I already kind of had a knowledge of the prequels of Obi-Wan, Anakin, Padme, thanks to Lego Star Wars. But that was the extent of my knowledge. And my friend from high school was also really obsessed with Star Wars, so he talked about that a lot. And usually I was like, all right, this is kind of boring. And then I watched the animated series and I was like, this is really nice. Ahsoka became an instant favorite. And then I ended up watching the prequels afterwards. And then I finally finished Clone Wars. And then I watched The Bad Batch. And then during this time, obviously, The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? The Mandalorian, when it first came out, that's when I started watching Star Wars, like, legitimately. I don't even know when The Mandalorian released. It was like late 2019, right?
Yeah. Is right before the pandemic started, because
Yeah.
Disney Plus debuted or premiered the network in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, this is really good, but I'm confused as crap on this because I know nothing. Star Wars is so good though. And then I watched Rebels. I actually finished Rebels when I was overseas.
Yeah, that's the one show I have not yet. I mean, I haven't watched Resistance either, but Rebels, like, I watched a few episodes and then I didn't like stick with it. But everyone keeps telling me to go back to watch it, and then I'm like, okay, I will, and then start watching something else for the 100th time and forget about it.
Your comfort. It doesn't, to me, it didn't pick up until season 3, season 4,
Yeah.
into season 2. Yes.
Okay. I know with Clone Wars didn't really hook me until like midway through the first season, and then after there's like a certain episode where, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, like Ahsoka's in an underground like laboratory trying to get out, and like they're gassing her and she's like about to die, and I'm like, dang, this is like going all in on like these characters might not live. And like I grew to enjoy Ahsoka. She's probably one of my favorite characters that's not in like any of the movies. Like I really love what they did with her whole arc in Clone Wars.
I also liked how they did Darth Maul's character.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even have a speaking line barely in the first episode, and then they gave him an entire personality, an entire trait, an entire focus.
It's always nice when a character has those things.
Right? Instead of just nothingness. I also started recently getting into their games. Jedi Fallen Order, which is going to have a second game next March, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, that game, I watched people play it on Twitch, and it's really cool, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the sequel, because I enjoyed seeing the first one so much.
And my friend and I are scared that like the main character's gonna die. I'm like, because the title Survivor is kind of like, oh no, is he gonna survive by the end of it? Are they gonna not have him ever? And we also thought he was gonna show up in the Kenobi series.
Yeah, that was something where it was like, oh, like all the little Easter eggs, right? Of like them mentioning one of the characters from like the anime and the comics and stuff, or if not from anime, from the from like Clone Wars, and he's in the comics a lot, Quinlan Voss, and then there's like all these other little references. It's like, ooh, like there's so many things they could possibly do.
Right? There's like so many things, and then they didn't add like Satine, or I wouldn't even argue and say Corky, Satine's quote unquote nephew, and then they didn't have any like a lot of Clone War flashbacks, which is what everybody kind of wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We were also like fingers crossing hard for Cal Kestis to show up for some reason. I don't know where that rumor started, but we're like, is Cal gonna show up or not? But yeah, I enjoyed the Kenobi. I actually have not seen the finale of the Kenobi series yet.
What?
I know.
Are you just holding off on it, or are you like waiting for like the right moment?
I think I'm waiting for my opportune moment to be like, all right, I'm going to sit down and watch this finale.
Gotcha. I can understand that. It's weird, like, because I'm on Twitter a lot. There's times where if I don't watch the show, like whatever show it is, like Mandalorian or whatever like Marvel show is on, if I don't watch it quick enough, then eventually I'll get spoiled. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, internet people.
Surprisingly, I've only been spoiled just a little bit on the last episode.
Oh, fingers crossed you stay that way.
Fingers crossed, because it's only a matter of time before someone tells me everything that has happened at the finale.
Exactly. Now, out of all the Star Wars media, like video games and movies and TV shows, like what do you have a favorite? Do you have like, is it Clone Wars or is it something else?
I think it is Clone Wars. A top second would actually be the Kenobi series, just because I love Obi-Wan a lot. Space Jesus, as they would say.
Yes.
But Clone Wars has a lot of content, and I'm pretty sure I probably forget half of it, so I could probably rewatch it, and it'd be like watching it again for the first time.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the things when you have so many seasons, even if the episodes are only 20 minutes long, you get like all these little tidbits of like fun things.
Yeah, I actually hated the 6th season of Clone Wars.
What? That's the
I
last season, right? Or
That's the
is
second to last season. Yeah, that was the
okay.
season before they were like, we're gonna pick it back up again.
Oh, okay. I totally understand that. That I understand because like the last season that they did for when Disney Plus was coming out again, that was incredible. Like that whole last season. I can understand the second to last season being like meh.
See, it was a good thing because that season 7 was fresh when
Hmm.
I watched Clone Wars again for the first time. But I was like, I didn't really care. I was glad that they continued because I was sitting there watching the 6th season. I'm like, man, this would have been a crappy way to end Clone Wars.
Right? Like I know I quit Clone Wars like halfway through or like fourth season somewhere where it's like a lot of like the Padawan like the baby Padawans
Oh, I
doing
love
like
those
doing those
episodes.
episodes. But I quit initially, and then I was like, oh wait, I need to watch this again. And then of course like Hondo shows up. I'm like, I love you, Hondo. Like I need you in like everything.
Oh my gosh, Hondo. Uh, Me and my friend are actually trying to write a Star Wars story, and he's been begging me to add Hondo into it, and I'm like, no, no, like let the man rest. He doesn't need to be in this.
Oh my goodness. Now, as far as like the new stuff that's coming out with Star Wars, like, are you excited for the like whether it's more Mandalorian or they keep talking that there might be a Kenobi season 2 or whatever they're working on in the future. Like, are you excited for the future of Star Wars or is it more like let me wait and see what they're going to do first?
Oh, I'm so excited. The Ahsoka series is coming out, and I think they casted that perfectly, especially with Ezra. I don't know if this is true. I knew it was a rumor. Ezra being the guy who did live action Aladdin. I'm also excited. I think it's called Tales of a Jedi, and they're gonna again be continuing Ahsoka's story because I think they're transitioning to Ahsoka being the main focus, and I'm not even mad about it.
Hmm.
Um, Also, am excited for Mandalorian season 3 if they also just focus on the Mandalorian himself.
Hmm.
I love Grogu. I love him a lot. But the title is called The Mandalorian and not Found Family, but a dad and baby Jedi Mandalorian thing. Which is funny because I also haven't seen the finale of Boba Fett either.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah,
So
that
I'm a little behind on my finales.
yeah, that the Boba Fett like turned into like Mandalorian season like two and a half like
Right, yeah.
part way through is like, oh, okay, I guess. You know,
Like I'm glad I saw Luke and Ahsoka again and they finally actually like met. But at the same time it's like, okay, this is about Boba Fett,
right.
not Mandalorian season 2.5.
Exactly. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline for Star Wars, and I'm looking forward to it. And I know that they're doing another season of the Star Wars Visions, the anime project stuff that they're
Yes.
doing, and I'm
So
excited for that.
excited. I love that because it was like, do you remember Halo Legends?
Not off the
Have you
top of
ever
my head.
seen Halo? Okay, so Star Wars Visions was kind of like that. So they had like all these different animation styles and all these different stories that were totally obscure from the actual like concept of Halo. And they did that with Star Wars Visions. But Star Wars Visions was like a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, it was so good. And I like that they were able to explore a lot of different things, away from the whole what we know as Star Wars. Like they could just go wild with it. It's like, okay, I dig this.
I really think they gave it to the Japanese animators and were like, all right, so Star Wars is like lightsabers and bad and good. All right, now do something with that. And they created like some of the best stories, visually appealing stories that I've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely. And I'd be remiss because we're going to switch from Star Wars, but Star Wars isn't Star Wars by itself because they're owned by this big mouse now. Um, and again, Disney has been around for such a long time, whether it's the movies, the TV shows, they have comic books, they have video games, they have places to go to experience all of that in person at the theme parks. So again, it's always interesting, like asking somebody like, "Oh, why do you love Disney?" Like, I guess one of my best questions for Disney is like, what's your favorite thing at Disney? Like, what hooked you? I mean, I assume it was something when you were younger, like one of the movies, but I could be wrong. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you'll surprise me.
I did, in fact, grow up with Disney. My mom went to Disney way before I started going to Disney, obviously. Her honeymoon was in Disney, and so she was like, let's hook our kids on Disney. And so I've been going to Disney World since before I was born, and then every year afterwards. It is one of my favorite places to go. I've been living in Florida for a month now at the time of this recording, and it still feels like home. Like I'm not homesick at all because I know this is like if I was going to be anywhere else in the world, it would be Disney World. And their stories are so compelling. There's not one Disney story where I'm like, oh, I didn't really like that one. Pixar is phenomenal at storytelling, and their recent movies like Turning Red and Luca and Encanto, they're all like more like they kind of hit you harder. Now,
Hmm.
like kids wouldn't understand, I guess, in like Encanto, generational trauma, or May. When I watched Turning Red, it was like looking in the mirror because that's how it was like for me in high school.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, this is hitting too close to home right now. But they tell it in the most visually appealing way. My current favorites right now are Ratatouille, Zootopia, and Turning Red. And I kind of bounce back and forth watching them each week.
What is it about those three in particular that are like the primary focus right now?
I think with Ratatouille, it's like he's a rat that can cook in Paris. I think it's so cool. And because I like Paris so much, and the way that Remy looks at the Eiffel Tower is like the way I look at the Eiffel Tower. So I guess we have kind of similarities because he loves to be in Paris. And he's like, I can do anything if I put my mind to it. So he's like, I might be a rat, but I can cook, and I'm going to try my best to figure out how to be both of those things.
Hmm.
With Zootopia, I really like the story. I still think it's different than any Disney story just because of the whole mystery and we're going to solve this crime together. I also really like Nick Wilde, but like who doesn't like Nick Wilde? And then Turning Red, like I said, was like looking in a mirror.
Right.
And I really want to hold May May. I call her May May. I really want to hug the red panda. Really. I ended up buying one of those big giant red panda plushies that they sell.
Oh my goodness. That's exciting right there. I
She's so cute.
I know my kids have been for whatever reason, like recently they've been bouncing between Ratatouille and Zootopia for just like rewatches during the summer. And it's like, how many times have you watched this? I don't know. I put it back on today. It's like, okay, like that's cool. I mean, there's other things you could be watching, but sure, those are good.
Like I even have favorite scenes that like if I miss it, I go back and watch it again. Um, and those scenes being when Remy starts cooking the
Hmm.
soup. When Nick does his monologue about like give up on your dreams. He's like, you'll never be a real cop, but you make a cute meter maid. Hang in there. I really like quote that scene a lot in my head for some reason. I don't know why. May, Turning Red, I don't have a favorite scene yet, which is why I'm just like watching it to find out.
I know that when we watched Turning Red, it was like, it's so interesting because watching it like with the kids, some of the stuff went over their head. Even though like they're like teenagers now, like some of the
Right.
stuff still went over their head. But like I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, like I totally understand some of this stuff, but what's interesting is like how much like, and like you mentioned before, like especially with Turning Red and Encanto, about how much it affects certain people. Um, like just like from their watching it and then like them coming to terms with it and their relationship with like their families. And it is so it's like it hits a different spot than say like watching Aladdin or Lion King or movies back in like the 90s or the 80s and stuff like that. Like now you're actually hitting on these themes where it's like really getting personal with you.
Right. Which I remember watching Encanto with my family, like looking at my parent, like, do you see this? Do you see this right now? Like, wow, it's like looking in a mirror. Um, I remember I kept asking her when she was here, my mom, I was like, she liked Turning Red? Wasn't it just so good? I, because it is. It's cute. It's really cute. And the controversy with it, like, but she, it was on her period. It was, they showed tampons and pads, and it's like, well, kids are gonna have to know what that is eventually, right?
Right?
Like, and Mei Mei is at that age where it's like she's going to experience changes to her body. So and they said it so casually in the movie too. Like the mom was like so prepared. She's like, "All right, I got you all these feminine products.
Mm-hmm.
I have Advil and ibuprofen. Just let me know what you need."
Yep.
It took me back for a minute. I was like, "Whoa, a period in a movie, a kids movie,"
Right?
but it was comforting almost. It's like this is now in animation. They also did it to Baymax recently too. Have you seen the Baymax miniseries?
I haven't, but I heard it's really good and really it's really got some great representation
It does.
both through like diversity, not just like with like characters of color and whatnot, but like through gender
Hmm.
and through like being like abled or disabled. It and I've only heard good things about it. I just have not seen it yet.
So cute. It also introduced, there's in one little short where Baymax, this girl starts her period and Baymax doesn't know what to get her. So he buys every single pad and tampon in the store because people kept handing him suggestions. And he's
Hmm.
like, okay, okay. So he comes back to the school and he's like got 7 bags full of products for her. And he's like, can you just take one? I don't know what to do with this.
That sounds almost like what I would do if I was in that situation. I'd be like, I don't know, but let me just buy the variety and you can figure it out.
Here, just test it.
Right.
Good luck out there. I can't help you from this point forward.
Now, besides the Disney movies and the shows and stuff, you mentioned you are a frequent Disney World visitor.
Hmm.
What I have to know, like, what's your favorite Disney World park?
Epcot,
Yes,
110%.
yes, yes. Yeah, that's my favorite park too.
Thank goodness, because I think it's cool. I've always loved Epcot because it's so culturally there. Like
Hmm.
you got all those the World Showcase is by far my favorite. Soarin' is one of my favorite rides. I just rode the
Guardians of the
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy ride. Yeah, that was so fun. Test Track is also a great. I think there's nothing wrong with Epcot at all. It is perfect. Um, I like the culture. I like how they embrace other nations, which is why it kind of almost got me to my degree that I have right now, which is international communications.
Hmm.
So I'm like, Epcot is like the start of it all. Um, I could ride Soarin' all day, every day. Honestly, it's like the best. It also has one of my favorite restaurants, which is the Coral Reef, which is in the seas,
Hmm.
right next to, because there's this giant aquarium, and I love seafood, so it's like a two-in-oneer. Um, Spaceship Earth it's always a must ride. I'm pretty sure I wrote, and obviously the Ratatouille ride, which is like two worlds. I decided because in Epcot they have all these Ratatouille like kitchen utensils and stuff. I think I'm gonna make when I move out official. I'm gonna make my kitchen Ratatouille theme.
Hey, that's a great theme to have.
I think it's perfect. They have like a kitchen timer, some stir sticks. Apparently there's a crock pot out there now, and I'm like, this is perfect. I
That
could decorate my whole kitchen with a rat.
that would be wonderful. We love or I love Epcot, and I think it's probably the park where I go just to like walk around and
Right?
see the characters and look at like the cool architecture and the neat different like performances that they have, and some of the stuff like that. We love I love always like riding on the living with the land, the little boat ride, that shows you like them growing their own food and the plants and stuff in where Soren is downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one ride that's always a walk on. That one?
yeah, that one. Yeah, I mean usually it's a walk on, but
Always.
love Soren. Soren is one of those rides. Like the kids still freak out about it. Last time we
Oh,
went on,
really?
yeah, there was one that was like, no, I can't do this. And I mean, he was like 11 or 12 at the time. It's like, come on, it's only for what, 3 minutes? And no, like
That's 3 minutes of your life?
right? Like he just hasn't, he hasn't gotten over that fear of being brought up and stuff. But we love Soren. And I know that like Coral Reef is good. Like that's a solid restaurant. But I love in Canada the Le Cellier
Oh,
restaurant.
yeah.
Oh
So expensive, though.
oh yeah, we did that for our birthday one year, and it
I
was
think I did
like
that for my birthday, too, one year.
so good. Like we fell in love with like one of the ice wines that they had, and now it's like we gotta find the ice wine out in the real world and not at Disney.
Because it's getting expensive.
And then of course like anytime that they have like the food and wine festival, which now it's like Epcot has a festival going almost all year. Like there's the food and wine
Yeah.
festival, and there's the
Flower and garden.
flower and garden, and then there's like the art one that they're doing now with like all the different artists that come. Um, but man, yeah, I love Epcot.
I'm so glad I'm here during the Food and Wine Festival because Remy is the main star of that show.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm like, yes. They have a scavenger hunt. And then you get a prize at the end, and I'm like, I gotta do it. I need to do this
You got to get that prize.
for the rat.
That's right. I mean, you got to put it in your future kitchen. Like, be like, look, I found and I got the scavenger hunt completed, and this is what I got. And now I got to display it proudly.
Right. And then obviously people go there now for drinking around the world,
Hmm.
which I have done. My favorite places are South Africa and France. I think I'm just French biased at this point.
That's okay. You're allowed to be French bias. It's cool. I
I mean,
understand.
I lived in France for like 3 months.
Right.
I'm basically a Frenchman.
Yeah. You're close enough.
Yeah, oui, baguette, croissant. I apologize to all French listeners. I
I
just
was
speak French, yeah.
I was just about to be like, well, I've watched Emily in Paris, and that's the
I
closest thing I can do with that.
love Emily in Paris. It's so like fictionalized though, but it's like one of my favorite things. And of course they ended this season with like the biggest cliffhanger. And I was like, okay, well maybe when I'm in France, they're probably going to film it when I'm there. They stopped filming the month before I got there. I was so upset. I could have saw them film season 2 and I was like, no, my moment. I did not, despite all the time I had there, did not go to where they filmed it.
Dun dun dun.
I know. I'm a failure, but that's okay. I know the location and it was in a really nice area. I just didn't go see like the actual building or where the where she worked at was or the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
but there's so many similarities to like, well, it could have been that restaurant or that restaurant because all the restaurants in France, despite them all being different, they all look the same. And a lot of them serve like the same things, just different fonts.
I can understand that.
Get behind it though.
I can get behind it. Now, the way that you and I came across each other is through the wonderful world of Instagram. And when I first started the podcast, I was like, oh, who am I going to get to be on this podcast besides the friends that I bully into? And I said, people that probably cosplay, that spend like blood, sweat, and tears and money, would probably love to talk about, not only the things that they love, but talking about cosplay too. So that way people can, get more stories behind like the pictures that they see. And you and I had, I think you had started following me first, and then I was like, oh, I need to follow you back. And you got some wonderful cosplays, including the one that I feel like, I'm saying for my perspective, the one that I feel like you may be the most well known for is like your Mollymauk cosplay
I am.
from Critical Role.
Yes.
Now, how did you originally get into cosplay? Like, what was your origin story?
D. Grayman got me into cosplay.
Oh,
We're in a
snap.
full circle now. I asked for Lobby for my birthday one year, and over time, I just started improving him because I was like, well, he could be better than what I'm portraying him as. And then I started going to conventions, and I was like the only costume I had. And then I started meeting cosplay friends, and I was like, okay, they're inspiring me to make more costumes. When I got into Mollymauk, though, I just got done with Lotor. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I like purple men now. That was a joke amongst my friends, is that I like guys that are purple. And my friend was like, hey, you should listen to this podcast and you should like this character. And when I tell you I obsessed over Mollymauk since the moment I saw him, I don't know he was just so eccentric. And I was like, this could be like the greatest pull-off I could ever do on a costume. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Because at the time I was like, well, they don't sell them online, so what am I supposed to do? Make him? His robe is actually commissioned from someone in Sweden. I always tell that to people when they look at my robe. I'm like, yeah, I did not make this. Always credit your commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I had someone make this. But then over time, Mollymauk is like my favorite costume just because of all, like, he's taught me so much as a person and how to be a better cosplayer because I didn't know how to do anything for him. His pants, I painted on. His tail, I had to make. His horns are 3D printed. Like everything I wouldn't have dreamed of doing, I did for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he just keeps getting better and better. I think every time I put him on, it's like he's a whole new person. He's like always like my confident booster. If I'm down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get into Mollymauk. He's my go-to for photo shoots. He's my go-to. I'm like, I recently went to Anime Central and had separation anxiety from the costume. And I was like, all right, he's got to go to every con now. I cannot not bring him to a convention. Because I saw all these Mollymauk cosplayers and I'm like, it could be me. It could have been me, but you're not here. You're 2.5 hours away.
Now, like, can you bring the cosplay but not wear it? Like, is it just like a comfort, like to have it, or like if you got it, you're gonna be wearing it?
If I have it, I'm gonna be wearing it eventually. I actually really wanted to bring him for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, but I was like, I can't fit him into my moving boxes. But I won't ship him because I'm afraid he's gonna get lost in the mail. So I'm just like, okay, he's just gonna be gone. The robe actually brings me a lot of comfort. I have to have. I don't even have the robe with me right now. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Yeah, he actually taught me how to be a better face painter. Yay! So, and how to wig style, and how to sew.
That's that is wonderful for a character that you connect to just be able to influence you that much to learn new skills and just be that way. Like that's awesome.
I like strive so hard to be better. And then every time I learn a new skill, I'm like, okay, time to put it on Mollymauk now. One day I'll make his robe. One day. But because of Mollymauk, I started sewing, and I sewed Caleb Widowgas, which is also from Critical Role, and recently just finished Dorian Storm from Critical Role, which was blood, sweat, and tears. I cried. I think I cry every project I make. um, Dorian taught me a lot as well, and now I'm moving on to Percy DeRollo from Critical Role.
I'm sensing a trend here.
I think you are. I think Critical Role might be it. Critical Role, great podcast. Love them all to death. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna challenge all these cosplayers." I'm like, "All right, let's challenge me. I dare you."
That's right. Bring it. Bring it.
I won a cosplay contest for Critical Role as Caleb, ironically. Not even as the love of my life, Mollymauk Tea Leaf. But Mollymauk's voice actor, or should I say the guy that plays him, was also there when they announced this contest winner of the week. Because they used to do a contest winner of the week. And the winner would get prize money and store credit. So I got that. And I rewatch it like every year. I'm like, this is like the greatest thing, because not only did Caleb's guy see it, but so did Mollymauk's, and I was like, it's two birds in one stone. They both saw excellency. I want to meet them at a convention, but they're so limited now because Critical Role is just so big now. It's like they rarely make convention appearances, and I know recently they went to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I'm so upset because I will be missing Gen Con, which is next weekend.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, but Mollymauk. So yeah, I don't know if they're actually going to Gen Con, but yeah, Critical Role started it all for me, basically. I would not be nearly as far as I am without that push.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you're choosing like the characters that you're cosplaying, like is it more that you're connecting to the character? Is it that you like love the design and you wanna like knock that out of the park? Like how do you decide like the characters that you do end up cosplaying?
When I first started cosplaying, it was like, oh, he's hot, I want to be him. It was like, why watch your husband through a screen when you can dress up as your husband? Now it's like, ooh, I really like the design. I really like how this character is, personality-wise. I'm trying to like strive away from like cosplaying a lot of men to more female characters. Recently, I'm planning on doing Belle from the new anime movie that just released in January.
Okay.
And then Ahsoka, because I love Ahsoka's character, and I really want to cosplay her. Percy, he's a great person, maybe. But I think seeing his design in the new show that they just released, which is Legend of Vox Machina, I was like, I can make that design. I want to try to like implement more details into that costume, like smaller details,
Right.
like the trim, the lining of the coat, how his vest is, how his wig is, his glass. Like I really want to try to incorporate like smaller details to that costume than like what I have in the past. Because Dorian, as much as I like to say that like he has a lot of small details, to me he just looks broad and plain and boring, despite like me hand painting the bottom of his tunic, which was another long, wonderful story. But with Percy, I'm like, okay, now that I see, now I want to try to start doing smaller details
Hmm.
instead of like, here's the coat. Okay, I'm done.
That'll be interesting to see. I love the, with Critical Role and these other like big actual play like Dungeons and Dragon podcasts, or the, like, not even, D&D, but the actual play RPG podcasts, where they have these characters and then they have, like, the artwork that they commission for, and then from that, people just go and create these wonderful like live action characters, like, cosplay characters, but like they're so good and detailed, and like, to like the littlest thing, it's so wild to like see it
Yes,
happen.
yes. Like no Mollymauk's gonna be the same.
Right.
Like you're gonna see the same Deku, but like Mollymauk, no Mollymauk is the same. No Percy is the same. Like everyone has their own take. And then like some people are like, oh, I like this character. What if I change the design a little bit in like the most beautiful way possible? And they just create like, here's the base design, but I'm gonna go all
Hmm.
harder. I'm gonna give it 110%. While you gave it like 100%, I'm gonna do 110%. There's a lot of inspiration that I got for like Mollymauk and stuff I see from other cosplayers, which is amazing. And like a lot of people from the Critical Role community, they don't hold back. I've asked multiple people like, oh, where'd you get your wig? Where'd you get your ears from Mollymauk? What'd you do for his vest? You know, and they're not afraid to like, oh, here's what I did. I asked someone recently how they did the tunic for Dorian because it's like a cape and a tunic combined. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. So I asked someone who just recently finished their Dorian. And they're like, all right, I'm going to send you videos on how I did that. And which is nice because it's like nice knowing that like people don't gatekeep and that side of the community. Like I met some people who are like, who have asked a question and they wouldn't like give me a response on how they did it. And I was like, okay, thanks for, helping. But I've also had a few people ask me like where I got my Mollymauk wig, and I send them the link straight away. I'm like, here it is, and it's ironically an Amazon wig, which I'm not downing Amazon because they've given me great wigs. All my recent Critical Role cosplays have been Amazon wigs, and I think they're really great quality. Like people are like, Arda wigs are the best, or Epic Wig cosplays, or something like that, and I'm like,
Hmm.
Amazon. I know we're not supposed to be supporting Jeffrey Bezos, but like Amazon wigs,
Right.
they're great, so great quality. They're a little cheaper, and the colors that they have are gorgeous.
Now, I have to ask, because I know, you left your Molly Mock at home while you're here. Are you planning on doing more cosplay work here? Are you taking a break from cosplay? Like, what is your current cosplay situation?
So I'm actually, I'm going to do one costume here, and then I'm going to be taking a fat break because my sewing machine is also at home. Um, I'm actually going to be getting Ahsoka while I'm here, so then I can take her to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. And I have this plan to ride Splash Mountain as Ahsoka for some reason. And I just want a whole bunch of Star Wars people in the thing with me. I don't know why, but I'm like, I need to ride Splash Mountain as Ahsoka Tano. I think it'd be cool to take pictures with her at the castle too, but
Hmm.
I think my friend and I are actually gonna order soon. And I'm like, I know I just said, oh, I'm just now into sewing, but there's sometimes it's okay to buy a costume. I'm not shunning any person that buys a costume
That's right.
or thrifts it or, cost closet cost test it. There's a few skills with Ahsoka that I don't know yet. So that's why I'm like ordering her because she also has a lot of foam work and I'm not very familiar with foam work yet. So I'm like, I'm just going to order her. And it's easier for me to order a costume and then I can adjust it afterwards.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so if like the headpiece is like too wonky, I can always like cut it open and, add more stuff to it.
That is right. And you know, like you said, no shame in buying stuff, especially if you don't have the skills or the you know, the implements of the cosplay trade down, you know, with you. Like, you know, you work with what you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
For people that are like, dang, I like D. Gray Man, I like Disney and Star Wars, and I like cosplay, especially Critical Role cosplays and some of the other work that you do. What are the best places for them to come check out your work?
You can follow my Instagram at Lillac.Cos, or you can follow my Twitter at the same name with an underscore. So it's Lillac_Cos. And it's Lillac, despite the contrary belief. The other Lilac was taken, so I was like, all right, I'm going to add an extra L to my name. My Twitch, though I'm barely on it, is Swagasaki15, which is an Ichigo Kurosaki combine. I made that up in 2016 when swag was still a popular name. And the 15 is Ichigo's favorite number and what his name means, so it's Swagasaki15. And my TikTok is Lobby1013.
Okay. Okay. So what I will do for people that are listening, if you want to follow Cam on any of those, you know, social media platforms, I'll have the links to all of those places in the show notes and on the Facebook page and website. So you can click on them and make sure to, you know, hit the follow button and comment and like and share and retweet and, you know, respond to stuff. And, you know, especially, you know, the work that Cam does is really good, especially like, you know, again, Mollymauk is such a huge character in your wheelhouse. If you love Critical Role work, you know, Cam is doing phenomenal work. So, you know, make sure to show the love and, you know, comment and like and share it to your stories. And Cam, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and hang out with me and talk some of the stuff that you love.
Thanks you so much for having me. It was great. It was a great time.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.